Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. We have two brothers from another mother from Denver, Colorado, and from New Delhi in India. They're interesting guys. They're actually, having loads and loads of clients in US, and they're focused really on repairing your websites and making sure that they keep whatever it works and expand on that. So, guys, please introduce yourselves to our audience of entrepreneurs.
Well, from another brother, my name's Anthony, and thanks for having us on your show, Tony. Uh, we talk to our customers about our own business story all the time because we are owners just like them. They don't have to talk to somebody who's disconnected from owning a business. They talk directly to us, and we think that's a competitive advantage.
Totally. Sounds like there is a personal touch in your process.
Oh, absolutely. I can vouch for that fact, Tony, that our life sometimes really gets miserable just because we give the personal touch to all the 250 plus customers that we are currently serving on one side of our business, right? So we both are, I mean, not that I'm tooting my own horn or crying about it, but the fact is that each day looks like 18 hours on the desk, right? Now, this might give and send a wrong message to the people who are aspiring entrepreneurs. But guys, if working that hard it has to be your passion to become an entrepreneur.
Totally. Yes. So what inspired you guys to get into this line of business?
I think we both had a similar passion for dedication to what we did. We enjoyed what we did. And so when we found each other, there was a lot of things in common, and we just allowed the relationship to naturally evolve. And I think now the that we're 3 years into it, it's stronger than ever.
And just to give you guys a context around it, I had my IT and digital company. Anthony has his own digital agency, and we both were, slowly and steadily moving. And we came across through one of our common client where, he was doing something else for our customer, and I was doing something else. But then when we met through that customer, we both were amazed that, this guy looks great. He is somehow matching the wavelength at which I work, and I'm assuming Anthony can confirm that he thought the same. So
Hmm.
that's how we came together, and now we are working on various different digital products and digital services that we provide, and we have a retention rate of 96.8. And yeah,
Hmm.
and by retention rate, I would just like to underline this, that we have a retention rate on both sides, the employees and the clients.
Hmm.
Fantastic. Yeah, that sounds great. So, just before we started recording, we were in the green room and we were talking about a few things. You mentioned actually that, your service is slightly different than all these other guys that are just saying, oh, yeah, let's just replace everything and so on. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Well,
Oh,
I'm in sales, so I'll answer that question. A lot of customers find us through our quick fix offer, and it's an inexpensive, low risk offer for the customer. And when I get on the phone with them, they say, I'm looking for somebody to support me in my website. And everybody else has told me that my website isn't up to speed and I need a new website. And they said, well, I don't want to need a new website, but I kind of just, I know I want it fixed. Can you fix it? And so then I call Pertosh and I say, can you take a look at this website and see if it can be fixed? And 9 times out of 10, he says, yeah, for what they want, it's nothing that needs a new website. We can just use what they have for now until they get to see some results. And then if they want to invest in a bigger website later on down the road, they can do so.
Nice. And then also you mentioned something about the speed when someone's got a problem with the speed. What about other issues like, maybe the sales are not going through or something else is happening that is affecting the profitability of the business? Can you fix that part as well or how that works?
Yeah, I said some of the major problems are one, the performance or the mobile speed. How fast does the website load on the phone? The other
These are
times,
sorry to interrupt you, Anthony, but I would like to
yeah,
jump in here that the common problems from the marketing standpoint are exactly what Anthony said. But the common problem that we found with almost every customer of ours every time they're stepping in is since before us there have been too many chefs in the kitchen, right? The whole kitchen is a mess, right?
yeah,
So it becomes a nightmare for any new person to step in and even do something. So I'm not blaming even other agencies who straight away go and said about the redesign, because these days it's not their fault. Nobody, people want easy dollars, right? Nobody wants to do the grunt work. Nobody wants to get their hands dirty. So it's better to go for a redesign. Whereas what we do, since we both come from a generation where generally replace was never the first intention. It was the first intention was always to repair, right? So we first get in, we get our hands dirty, we clear it up, we clean the mess, right? And so by default, some of the performance is increased by that. Then, of course, depending upon that, what exactly the aim is, right? We go ahead and fix the performance as well. Security issues, but majorly, I have worked on sites. I remembered that, single site, six composers. Now, people who know composers, they will understand what I'm saying, right? So no needs on further explanation on that, but anyone can assume what kind of a mess that would be, right? And as Anthony said, I would just like to clarify one last thing. When he said 9 out of 10, I want to tell you about the 10th one, because the 10th one actually had 8,900 pages and 6,700 blog posts, right? So that turned out that sale didn't went away. We didn't repair it because that one particularly actually needed a redesign, and we are working on that project currently. And it's a comparatively, as you can assume, it's a way bigger project than where we started off.
Yeah.
but
So you
some
can say
customers
Anthony
want
safely it's
SEO.
10 on 10.
Yeah, and most customers really, what they know they want is warm, qualified leads showing up in their inbox. And for us to be able to program or manufacture that, we really have to understand the business and understand the audience and what is the offer that the audience is willing to exchange their personal information and book an appointment with you in order to take the offer.
Yes, and you mentioned, Anthony, as well about this quick fix option. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What's that offer about?
Yeah. Well, the first thing we had to do was understand our own audience, and it's the hardest thing for a marketer to hire another marketer. But Barry and I we kept hitting our head against the concrete until we hired another marketing person to help us with our own offer. And we learned a lot from doing that. And we feel really lucky that we were able to crack a funnel and do a quick fix. So a quick fix is any two problems on your website that can be done in 24 hours. We will do them in 24 hours or less, which demonstrates our responsiveness and our attention to accuracy.
Nice, excellent. And then also, because obviously this podcast is called Open Book Entrepreneur, where we look really into the real journeys of entrepreneurs. So, how do you guys deal with some situations where things are not going your way, and you have to actually overcome those?
Hmm. Well, we need to set expectations to let you know that, we have the quick fix. We also have unlimited support plans. But unless you're hiring us at the highest level, we're not going to automatically be your marketing director because you didn't hire us for that. So you're going to have to tell us what we need to do for you and or
To
ask us, what do you think I need to do? But most people just say, "Okay, go ahead now, do it." And we're like, "Do what?" Okay? Just tell me, what do you want me to do?
use
Well, be
the use the analogy. Use the analogy. It's a perfect time to do that, Anthony. So the analogy is if you go to a life coach, right, and you
Oh
say,
yeah.
"Hey, life coach, I just need a small help." And life coach, who is in our situation, is like, "Okay, yeah, whatever you need, tell me. I just have a small thing that I need from you." We said, "Okay, yeah, what's that? Fix my life." Now, is that something even a life coach can do? No, you need God for that. We are nowhere near to that, nor we are claiming, nor we are trying, nor we can ever be anything near to that. Right?
Hmm.
So when you have to tell us or anybody comes to us, they have to give us the problems to solve.
Yeah.
Right? We cannot just, oh, fix my life, fix my business, get me sales. No, these are goals of your business, and these are your goals. That cannot be our goals. Our goals has to be that, I need X number of likes on my page, or for example, I need my performance to go from 56 on desktop to 98. Right, these are the tasks that we can perform. But if somebody says that, oh, you guys, I'm paying you guys, just come and, make sure that I have at least 3 sales a month. Believe me, if anyone, not just we, anyone, if they had that kind of a magic wand, believe me, they won't get on a Zoom call with you who is asking this question.
Yeah.
So break those things down into the task. And Tony, to answer your question, what kept us going throughout all these years? I'm saying this for me, and I'm pretty sure this is for Anthony as well, that I never had a plan B.
Yeah.
Plan B is, I'm not saying those who have plan B is wrong, but I mean, my life was devised that way, or it was meant to be that way, that, I never had a plan B. So this, what I'm doing, has to work. And when it is like that, generally, we all have heard that, oh, that guy is very strong. He's a very strong willpower. If you'll go and ask that individual that, what went through your mind ahead when this disaster happened to you, he was like that, nothing. I just stood there. I was not strong. I was not the best. I didn't tried my best. I just stayed. I just stood there for long enough for the second wave to happen, for the second wave to come in, or for whatever next was there for me, whether it was good or bad. And it doesn't mean that after bad only good comes. After bad, good comes very bad, then comes very, very bad, then comes terrible. And if you are standing till terrible, then there are chances that good might come. And
Totally, totally.
believe me,
Yeah.
if good is coming any sooner, it's not good for you in long term.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, your analogy also reminds me of this story. Your analogy about plan A, plan B reminds me of that story of that general who, a few hundred years ago, went with his army across the seas. And then, as his army was much smaller than the other army, they looked back and there were ships and they were about to go into the battle. And this general, he just basically went and burned all the ships and said, look, guys, the only way you can go back is if we win. Yeah. So that's really what happened. They won. And this is the analogy about plan A, plan B. If you burn all the ships to go back, you have to make it work. And that's fantastic approach. Well done on that.
Cortez,
Exactly.
South America.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So anyway, guys, so what's one major tip that you can give someone who is like struggling with their website and stuff?
That's a good question. I'll let Pertosh answer that.
Do not blame yourself and try to do everything yourself, because everything on the planet that says that it's a DIY, believe me, it's not. And that's the reason why there is a mess in first place, right? So
WordPress is
go
not
with,
for beginners.
absolutely. I mean, you can get it off the, for beginners. If you're starting out your business, WordPress is not for you. You can go ahead and do Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, all these new AI solutions. Get a website for yourself. But when you are taking a step ahead, right? I mean, you're placing your salesman on somebody's door to knock and sell. But the moment somebody opens the door, their tie is halfway down to here, right? The shirt is filthy, right? They are having a bad breath. Now, however good the offer is, however good the solution is, however crazy the guy is to actually sell, or the audience is to buy, the first impression is a problem right there, right? Because they won't listen it with an open mind. And that's exactly what website does. Because these days, while we are going on a freeway, right? If we look at a billboard, right, and we see a website, sometimes I have seen a lot of people doing it. They don't even need a attorney for accident, right? But still, they just go and open and check the website. Oh, let's see what this guy is saying, right? So your website is your 24/7 salesman. The tip is hire the right people, right? Go for the people. Don't hire the, freelancers, because the biggest problem is, for a freelancer, you are not a priority. Their priority, and try and understand their mindset. They have a table where they need to put food, right? So their priority always is the highest paying client, right? So go for the people who have been long enough in the business, who understands the ins and out, not just of the website, but who understands different aspects of website. That when you're talking of, when thing is coming from social, what website means, when you're coming from ads, what website means, when you're coming from, let's say, offline event campaigns, what does it mean, right? So that they can give you a right solution. What happens is you talk to developers. I have been a developer a good amount of my life, so as a developer we think inside the box, we think outside the box, inside the box. So you need somebody who can think actually outside the box, who have seen different aspects and can give you solutions rather than servicing your website or fixing your particular problem. You need somebody who can give you a full approach 360-degree view of the solution. Why you need that?
Because you
So that's the
actually,
most important thing.
what the hardest thing for the business owner is don't know what they don't know.
Oh yeah.
And that
Totally. They
has a
don't
whole
know what
host
they
of
don't
problems.
know.
It exposes you to risk. It exposes you to somebody telling you something that's not true and you believe it. And I think you really need a trusted partner to give you the truth and not the
Absolutely. And as
fluff.
Paritosh said, actually, it's really important to think outside the box or just like remove the box completely. So this is why I like this idea that you mentioned about quick fix, your offer, your quick fix offer. So let us know, like, how can someone actually get in touch with you if they want to find out a little bit more, if they want to take you on for this quick fix offer or something else.
Yeah, well, the quick fix offer, obviously, we're not making any money off of that, but we are able to provide you with something that we think is priceless, which is the experience of understanding what do you get when you pick up the phone to give us a call? What does the support team look like, and what are they capable of? And you might have an issue that's just preventing you from moving forward, and nobody else has been able to help you through that unless they attach like a $5,000 price tag to that problem. So our price tag is much lower, probably the lowest you'll find, and you can exercise that offer securely by just sharing the back end dashboard of your website and saying, look, see here's the problem. I can't fix this and I've tried and it doesn't work. And then we can look at it and say, yeah, or no, and do it without logging in. Sometimes you need to provide us with the temporary password to log in to do the fix inside the engine. But yeah, most of the problems can be
And
fixed within a day.
the guarantee is that if we do not fix it in 24 hours after we start working on it, we give you your full refund.
Mhm.
Because you know the idea of this quick fix is not that whether we are super creative, super amazing, super technical people who can fix everything, right? The idea is that we cannot tell that to you unless you start working with us. So the $48 offer is basically something that breaks that barrier of you to come and work with us and experience it, and then choose whether you want to take a next step or not. So that's the idea behind the quick fix. Because we all have seen many people who are not amazing in real life, but they look great on podcast. What if I'm lying? What if Anthony is lying? What if Tony met with the wrong people to put on his podcast, right? That shouldn't affect his audience or anybody's audience for that matter. So the quick fix is the offer where you can actually test that, are these guys just talking or they are walking the talk?
Cool, excellent. Thanks for sharing that. And then also, maybe you can tell us the name of your website. And then on top of that, like, before we go, if you can also tell us, like, maybe some question that I didn't ask you, something else that you want to share with our audience.
Yeah, sure. You can go to our website, wpsprints.com. The WP stands for WordPress, and sprint is a 24-hour turnaround. So hopefully that's easy to remember. What is one thing that you haven't asked us that business owners need to know about their marketing? I think for me, and Pertosh might have a different answer, but for me, video content is more important than the website itself. Because if you want your website to do its job, your goal is to give them a good experience. And in order to give them the experience they're looking for, you need to use engaging media content like videos that allow you to create this human connection or this human experience on, the digital virtual world. And video is the only thing that can really do that. I suggest that you introduce who you are, what you do differently than anyone else, and invite your viewer, your person who's experiencing your website into a low or no risk offer to help engage them deeper.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you very much for this wonderful advice. Thank you for being a guest. Thank you for sharing your story and your tips as well with our audience. Thank you all for watching and listening to this episode. And see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.
Thanks, Tony, for having us.